Welcome to the podcast.
Hello? Is this thing on? We're out to lunch. Hello. And welcome back to Out to Lunch. Things are off to a rocky start. Okay. I'm just gonna jump right into the first thing that I've been thinking about. I have to turn toward you. I'm like, I'm breaking the fourth wall almost. My overall question is, would you go to space if you had the opportunity to? But first I want to ask you that question because did you see about Katy Perry?
No.
You don't know what happened to Katy Perry? Dude, she went to space with 4 other people. I don't know their names, but they're like celebrity. Like these celebrity women all got in. Actually, I think I want to say Jeff Bezos's spaceship and sent him up there. Whole trip was 10 minutes. They came back down. It's funny because on the news it showed the spaceship hitting back on Earth and like kind of like rough and like bounced a little, even to the point where mom and dad were like, ugh. And then right after that, the reporter's like, a soft landing back on Earth, blah, blah, blah. My mom and dad were like,
That wasn't...
you literally just showed us it wasn't soft at all. Like, what? Then all the celebrities get off. Katy Perry kisses the ground, like, back on the planet, you know? The whole thing was crazy. She released her set list while she was up there for her coming tour. The whole thing was wild. Actually, some people are thinking that it's actually not real and it was like a whole PR stunt and just like a thing to make all of us like, oh my God, you know? I don't know if I believe it or not, but it got me thinking, if I like truly had the opportunity to go to space, would I do it? And I was like, actually, I need to ask Abby this.
Okay.
So that was a lot of information at one time.
One, I don't know.
Also, like, Katy Perry went to space.
Okay.
Complete rewind. Complete rewind.
10 minutes?
Bro, 10 minutes.
How do you get up there
They
that
blasted
fast?
off. I looked it up. It's between 62 and 65 miles. I almost said north.
Like actually
Like
north,
65 miles from ground to out of the atmosphere to technically count as being like out of Earth's ozone layer and like in the surrounding. There's a name for it. I am gonna mispronounce it. I think it's called like the catamaran line or the whatever it is. It's like the boundary of Earth and space. So it's like 65 miles to get out of that. So they reached that, looked at Earth. There's a video of them. They're like, look, there's the moon. And then the spaceship went back down, and that was it. I can't believe that you don't know about this. It was all over my social media. I think I spend far too much time on my social media.
Well, a few things. One, I don't follow Katy Perry.
I don't follow her either.
2, don't watch the news.
Yeah. My mom and dad watch the news daily.
And 3, that's not something that I think is going to pop up on my For You page. To answer your question, I think space is kind of terrifying.
It absolutely is.
Also, don't think I'm ever going to be rich enough to pay for that.
Well,
or an astronaut.
Yeah. So just to reserve the spot on that spacecraft was $150,000 per person. And then it said, which this part's kind of like fucked up a little bit if you ask me, depending on who you are and like how much you make, deciphers like how much you have to pay to be on it. So like some people had to pay $2 million, some people had to pay this, like according to the sources that I looked at. That could be incorrect information, but I was like
Like, what's this?
Like if me and you were both going on it and I found out that you had to pay $100 million or $1 million less than I did, I would have been like, dude.
Yeah. You know what though? I think about this all the time, like all the time, with famous people and how people that are famous and wealthy get free stuff. And I'm like, hold on.
Like,
I'm
wait
sorry.
a fucking second.
I get it, but like I don't get it.
I don't really get it because the people who really need free stuff, you don't even know that they exist.
No. So it's like weird to me that it's like, oh, I got, you know, like I even think like festivals. Like, you know how some people
like free ticket to blah, blah, blah.
My free VIP wristband because I'm going to vlog the whole thing or whatever the fuck it may be. And then you're like,
but you could buy that in a heartbeat.
Like, that's not.
Well, that's why everyone's kind of pissed because they were like, the millions of dollars that it took to send that spaceship up to space and the amount of money that all these people paid was like millions of dollars. Those millions of dollars could have gone to like anything really, you know? And like, it was kind of a big deal. I want to say Vietnamese, but I could be wrong on that. One of the women was like the first of her nationality to be in space, and there's like different reasons why it was cool and like whatever, but also I don't know if it was necessary. You know?
No, it does seem like a bit dramatic.
Yeah Well,
also, you're not doing anything.
No, that's why I was like, if I would do that, I would do that. I don't know if I can sign up for going like into space and staying there for like a week or two, or like, especially because there were astronauts that they were supposed to go there for like a week, I think, and they got stuck there for like 9 months and they just came back home like not too long ago. Can you imagine being stuck up there for 9 months?
No.
In a tiny little...
Dude, you've got to watch that movie. I'm telling you.
What is it called? Interstellar. I need to watch it.
You need to watch it. Anywho, that's wild.
I know. I said Katy Perry of all people. I don't know why.
Didn't we talk about the moon landing? Didn't you say that you don't even believe in
I
that?
I don't know if I do.
See, and
it just seems like if we were able to do that, then why haven't we done more since then?
I guess I just don't understand why.
Well, I think that's the thing with like most conspiracy theories is that like apparently all of the things are made up because the government is trying to control like the way that we're viewing how powerful they are, you know? Yeah. So it's like if they tell us that like, oh my god, we went to the moon, and you're like, wow, they're really doing stuff over there, you know? But did they go to the moon? I don't know. Katy Perry went to space, so
oh my god,
that's crazy talk for real.
No, that's wild. And no, I didn't know that. Now I want to look it up.
I'll send you some memes. You can see them all. Dude, wait. I have to get my phone for this. There's one meme I saw and I was like, gold medal for you. You deserve all of it. I screenshotted it so I could show you this. Actually, I don't know how like in touch you are with Katy Perry songs.
I mean,
just it's a picture of the spaceship landing on Earth, and it says, low-key bet they all felt like a plastic bag drifting through the wind in that thing. And I said, that is hilarious.
Dude, people come up with the best things. Truly
amazes me. Like, some of the things are just stupid or dumb or rude, but like some things I click on it and I'm like, how did you even conjure this up? Like, I'm so proud of you for doing this. And like, you're an icon, you're a star, you're a comedian. You deserve all the things.
This is amazing. Thank you.
I'm so happy that you just brought that up because I completely forgot about that until right now. All right. I'm back in frame now. Don't worry, everyone.
Oh.
On another note, another thing that I was thinking of, completely off topic, it's finally season for you and I to have the best acne medication ever.
Yeah.
From the sun.
Yeah. I can already tell.
Isn't it crazy? Like, I feel like it literally just like dries it out, sucks it up, and like it's just gone. And I'm like,
how does this happen?
this is how I know it's good for us. This is how I know.
I just know that based on how it makes me feel too.
Yeah.
It also has made me feel really bad before, so that's only if you have like too much of it.
Well, that was last summer. I was not like convinced, but pretty sure that heat exhaustion is like not a real thing.
Oh no.
Because I'm like, I have been out in the heat for like days at a time, like softball tournaments, cheer competitions, like cheer camp, all this stuff where I'm like working my ass off for 5 days straight, or like at festivals or whatever. And I have been like tired, and like I can feel that like the sun's taking it out of me, but I don't ever have like any of the symptoms of having heat exhaustion. And then last year, I think I tanned with you 2 days in a row. I definitely drank during those days, did not drink enough water. And then I went to work on I think it was a Monday, and I was throwing up at work, could not keep even water down, was like profusely sweating. I had the chills. My body was aching. Like, it was like the worst I've ever felt in my entire life. And I went home and laid on the couch, and I had ice packs all over me. And I was looking up the symptoms of heat exhaustion, and I had all of them. And I said, okay, I believe that it's like, real now. I maybe need to drink more water, probably.
Especially if you're going to lay in the sun for hours.
For hours. And that's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're also awful because we'll be laying there and there's like sweat dripping down our forehead, and we're like, I can do 2 more minutes. It's like, just get in the water. Like, just get in the water.
Like, just get in. There's a pool.
That's why we're
2 feet away.
Like, what are you trying to prove?
But in that moment, you're just like, I can do it. Like, I can do it. But one of my favorite things is when you do get wet in the lake or the pool or whatever, and you go back and lay down, and you're like literally sopping wet, and you lay down in the sun, just like into your skin, and you're just like, I'm all like baked up.
Yeah, I like seeing how quickly it dries.
Yeah, it's satisfying.
Yeah, it's like, it really do be fucking hot out here today. Like, look down at you're like, I literally just got out of the pool, like, and it's dry,
and I'm tan and dry. Crazy.
Wild.
I had this thought today, actually, and I was like, I don't know if I can really ask her this question because I think it's hard to answer. But if you had to like pick your favorite thing to do, like, ever, what would you pick? I think mine is tanning at the lake. There's no greater activity that brings me like a higher joy than laying on the beach. It's like specifically at Tahoe, basically, but like if just like lake days in general and tanning at the beach. There's other things that make me really, really happy, but there's nothing that like I can feel my heart beating with joy when that's happening.
Yeah. I think it's my favorite like simple activity.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single other thing that...
Well, because you literally don't have to do anything. You just lay there.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am a show person. Like, sitting on the couch and getting under a blanket and just like binging something. Mm-hmm. Like, I get excited to do that sometimes. That I would say that's my other simple one. But no, ask me what I want to do on my birthday. Tan. What do you want to do? I don't care. I just want to
be in the sun. It's so interesting that you brought up shows, because something else I wanted to talk to you about was, I don't know, you've been with Bradley for so long that maybe you haven't experienced this in a little while, but I don't know if enough people talk about when you're watching a show with someone and then the two of you break up mid-show.
Well,
because that's happened to me a couple of times. And then afterward, you're like, I don't want to watch this show because it's going to make me sad. But also, I want to finish the show. And like, yeah. I don't want to watch it without them. But also, like, we're not together. I don't know. That happened to me with Vampire Diaries.
Yes, which is so sad.
Mm-hmm.
So sad.
Yeah.
Because that's, yeah. But you eventually finished
I
it.
eventually finished it, and I was like, honestly, it was more fun watching it without you. So
I
like an obsess over vampires, like actually.
like truly, yeah. I like watching shows with people
Mm-hmm.
for the first time. I like rewatching things by myself. I don't know. Like I have definitely, this happens with Bradley all the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally we're watching Sons and he's seen the whole show.
Right.
So everything's new to me that comes on, but it's like I just know that he already knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that makes it less fun. Or like we're watching The Last of Us right now too, and they come out every week. Wait, did you watch?
No, I watched the first season 5 years ago, whenever it came out, and I haven't.
Okay, well, last week was the first episode of season 2. We already watched that. Then today they released the other one. I haven't seen it yet, but Keegan texted Bradley and said it was the best episode of the show so far, and I'm like, oh gosh, I want to watch it.
That's honestly one of the shows that is part of the conversation that we're having right now.
Oh,
but like it's such a good show that like
just
I have to watch it, you know. It's so good.
Yeah, no, it is super
I think
good.
I honestly like watching shows just in general by myself, because then if I want to watch 5 episodes in one night, I can. Or if I want to go home and watch it right after work, like I don't have to wait for you to come home, or like yeah.
Or if you don't want it, like if I'm in the mood to watch it and you're not in the mood to watch it, or it did yeah.
On the opposite side of this, one time I was talking to this guy. I was like straight out of high school, and it was my first time ever hanging out with him, and I went to his house, and I had started watching a show and knew that it was good, but I started it from the beginning with him, and we watched a couple of episodes, and then I left, and then we had made plans to hang out again, and he texted me the next day and was like, yeah, I finished the show, and I'm like, you watched it without me?
Yeah,
like,
I feel like
dude, I have no respect for you now. Turns out he wasn't the one anyway. So we're Gucci in the club.
I feel like if you start a show with someone,
You have to finish it with them. Yeah. When he texted me that, I was like, have you no human decency left in your soul? I don't get it. That was crazy.
No, that's
behavior.
ridiculous.
Also, like when that happened to me with Vamp, that's how many seasons? Like 9 seasons, and we were only on like season 4 or 5 when that happened. So I'm like, I have like, and there's like 20 episodes of each season. I said I have like 100 episodes to watch. I'm not gonna just leave all of that hanging. Are you crazy?
No. I could see just not watching it for a while, and then eventually being like, okay,
I'm just gonna put it on.
Yeah. I don't think I feel like usually I will start watching something, and if anything happens, we just stop watching it. We start watching something else, and then I don't finish it. But I don't personally do that. Like, I'm pretty good at going back continuing it. Yeah,
I think anything that you and I have watched together, we've also, like, if we were taking it very seriously, obviously Summer House, like we watched that together one time, but like we weren't, like, we're not watching it together.
Like, I'm not expecting you to like wait to watch any of it.
The all of the spooky ones, I can't remember what their names are right now.
All of the haunting of
but I watched like me and you specifically watched all of those. You had already seen them, but like we watched them together. Yeah.
You ready for the best show of your life? Made me bawl my eyes out. So good.
There were several moments in each show where I was just like,
they're amazing.
I don't want to say the things I'm thinking of in case someone ends up watching it one day, but like a couple of them, I was just like, yeah, what? That's crazy, cuckoo bananas.
No. I also love a good limited series because you commit to 10 episodes and then you're done.
Yeah. Not
It's like a long movie.
9 seasons of 20 episodes.
Yeah. Which I also like.
Well,
But
and
like very, very different.
Because then you have a show for a very long time. But that's a big commitment. Because I think Vampire Diaries came out around the same time as One Tree Hill did. And I love One Tree Hill. And I've watched it like a couple of times at least all the way through. But that's the same as Vamp, where there's 20 episodes in one season. And it's like, well, if I'm starting this, I really need to like be in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a commitment for sure.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Is Vamp your favorite show out of all of them?
I think
it's probably definitely a comfort show for you.
I think it's hard. It is my comfort show.
Yeah.
And every fall I restart it. Sometimes I finish it. Sometimes I just go to the 5th season because I feel like it kind of falls off after that.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of depends. Sometimes I skip forward to the episodes I know I like.
Yeah.
Like but I like it as like a background. I like it because I just know the show.
That's how I am with One Tree Hill. Like there's certain episodes that I say, this is like the best episode ever, and then I just like put it on so I can watch it, you know.
I watched One Tree Hill my freshman year of college, like by myself, like just completely binged the whole thing and was like, this is phenomenal. But I have never really
gone back,
like rewatched it, which is weird because I am a rewatcher and I liked it. So I'm like, why?
I feel like why I really connect to One Tree Hill because I watched it for the first time in high school too, which is like when the show starts, and I feel like I related to a lot of the things that they were going through. But also it's one of the only shows I've like really watched that doesn't involve, it's just people living their lives, and I think all the stuff they do is like relatable, you know. There's so many times I've watched it and just bawled my eyes out, and even if I'm not actually going through what they're going through, I'm like, oh my god, that would suck so bad.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I don't know. I don't know if I could put favorite on it. Also, the more I watch now, the harder it is for me to like Vamp, because while I love it and I love the characters, it's not like a phenomenal show. It's I like it, but it's not.
I think there's parts of it that are like phenomenal, but there are definitely parts where you're like, this season sucks.
I think just like comparing it to things that I've watched now, I'm like, oh, okay,
like this is good writing. This is good production.
Amazing. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
I was so blown away watching Game of Thrones. Like, I've never been more just like jaw to the floor. It was insane. Like but I wouldn't say like that's my favorite. I don't know. Yeah. I think there's a difference between like favorite and best. I would say it's probably my favorite. It's the one I go back to the most.
But it's not the
I've
best
watched
show you've ever
Hill
watched.
House like 4 times, 5 times.
Well, that show is below your mind, just crazy.
Yeah. And it is insane to me that you can make me fall in love with a character in that short of time.
Because it takes you a long time. Like Damon Salvatore, it takes you so long. I mean, me, to fall in love with him because he's the villain in most of it. And then at the end, everyone's like, I fucking love this guy, you know?
I love him from the beginning, but that's just me.
But that took seasons of time.
Yeah.
Whereas this show has how many episodes? Like
it's 10.
Yeah.
10 episodes and the whole thing's over.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I mean, you named your cat.
Both of our cats are
after
the characters in that show. Maybe that is my favorite. I kind of forgot about that.
Tell me why. I was just going to say, I literally forgot that that's where you got their names from, but you literally named your cats after that show.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, that's cute. Little Nally.
This is off topic. My dad came in today and he's like, look, we got these dinosaur cookies. And I go, cute. He's like, it's really weird that you said that because your mom said the exact same thing. And I said, what did she say? And he's like, what you just said. She goes, cute. you're like, and we just did that too. You're like, cute. Is it cute?
They are cute. They're cute.
I'm thinking of all my favorite episodes of Vamp, and the one that's it's not even my favorite one.
The iconic scene. This is hilarious because I literally almost just brought this up when they go to that party.
Yes. And it's just like, and the video just like all of that, the two of them just fucking losing their minds.
Yeah. I just love I feel so close to you right now. I literally can't hear that song and not think of
I
that.
love that you knew the song because I can visualize it, but I couldn't hear it.
That's the song.
To be a vampire at a party.
Dude, for real. Also, parties are so weird, especially in shows, because I feel like parties are that. Like, I don't think they're portrayed in
like an incorrect way.
But it's also not that. Like, I have been at a party and felt like that. I've also been at a party and looked around and been like,
I don't know why I'm here.
What is this place?
What is this place?
Like,
I literally have felt that exact way where I'm like looking around and I'm like, I don't know how I ended up here.
You're like, whose house am I at?
Especially in high school, you're like, who gave who this address? Like, I don't know why
are we here? And am I welcome?
And you're literally just in some random stranger's house at a party. Like, okay.
Yeah,
like, okay.
I don't know.
I have felt the way where I'm like at a party, I'm like, this is so fun. Oh my God. Like, I love it here. But I've also been at a party sitting on the couch being like, this literally blows.
I wish I drove my own car.
So
I hate when I feel that way. I wish I drove my
hate-
own car. It's like, just drive your car.
Just drive your own car.
Because when you get somewhere
And
and
you wanna leave.
and you can't leave and you're waiting on all the people around you to like want to feel the same way
Yeah.
you do.
And you want to be a Debbie Downer and like be like, guys, can we leave? But you're also like,
But you're
bro,
like,
we
can
need
we
to get the
fucking
hell
go?
out of here.
No, dude, I was thinking about this yesterday at our
A party?
Well, because it wasn't a party. It wasn't a
But
party.
it turned into one.
It was like
Kind of. Like kickback, maybe.
Yeah, but like, yeah.
Oh, well, the word kickback is like, you guys want to hit up my kickback later? I'm going to have a few people over. And it's like, you don't need to name it. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was literally just thinking about how like there are so many different types of parties,
Uh-huh.
but all of it is just an excuse for people to get fucked up. It doesn't matter what you're celebrating. Your graduation party, a fucking birthday,
wedding, engagement, baby shower.
yeah, an engagement party.
Like, where
You
you already were going to go to the wedding.
You already told everybody you're engaged.
A reception dinner
Why-
the night before the wedding.
Why do you need a party?
A rehearsal dinner. You don't.
A gender reveal.
Like, there's so many parties. Like, okay, a child's first birthday. The child does not even know its own name. It's just an excuse for everyone to go to the park and barbecue and drink beer together. Like,
See, and I like a child's first birthday. What I don't understand is like having a party, and maybe this is the alcoholic in me speaking. What I don't understand is having a party for a pregnant woman that can't drink.
Well, because and I can already imagine myself at my own baby shower or like general. I don't think I'm gonna do one of those.
I don't see.
but like
That's we can talk about that after.
but like, I don't want me being pregnant to stop everyone else from having a good time.
No, it'll be
but
a party.
I also don't want me to be the only sober person there where everyone's like, yeah, who's having a baby, you know? And I'm like, yeah, except
Like, why are we doing this?
Why?
And I understand. Well, also, to get gifts. I know that there's a lot of
Mhm.
parties that it's like you're there because people are supporting you and you're getting a gift.
Well,
for
and that's really
something.
actually kind of a funny, like, if you like really think about it, like
like
logically,
you throw a
you're
party.
throwing a party because you want people to give you stuff. And like, listen, I'm not saying I'm not gonna do it. I'm going
I will.
to.
I
I'm
will.
gonna do it, specifically a baby shower. But like, that's the whole reason that you're having the party. Same with a
Yeah.
bridal shower. Like,
See, and I
bachelorette trip, different. Bridal shower though, like that is for people to give you.
yes, and it's
gifts.
awful. And then I have to sit there and open everything up in front of everyone.
You have to open the lingerie that your best friend got you in front of your grandma.
Oh you want to know the funniest part about that? You want to know who bought me fucking
Dude, was it your
silks
grandma?
at my that I opened in front of everyone? Yeah, my grandma.
My grandma's
I
would
said-
never.
I don't know what I was expecting, but I pulled it up and I was like,
You're like, well,
Grandma.
Good God. Well, good God. I'm sorry I missed that moment.
that's okay. I thought it was going to be more family friendly, you know? Like
Yeah.
it was going to be like this is
Like
my family and this is my friends.
Mhm.
You were part of the friends. Let's go get fucked up. And that was supposed to be just like a mimosa bar. And then grandma bought me lingerie. So
We love you, Grandma.
we do. And I loved it. So don't you worry.
Well, it's because like
It was
it's better than you getting me like some weird like modest
I was gonna
gift
say,
that I don't
it
want.
was sensible. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Like
It wasn't
it
like
wasn't like
risque.
Oh my, no,
but it was still something that you were like, I can't believe that you bought me this.
Yeah, I was very surprised. No, what I really wanted to ask you about is fucking gender reveals, because here's the thing, they're just stupid, and I don't know if you agree. Like, do you think they're stupid?
Here's the thing. When I don't really know when gender reveals got like popular. I feel like it's been within the last like 15-ish years, right? I don't think it was like a thing
Before
before
that's what
that.
I'm saying. I think people are just coming up with more ways
Yeah.
to like.
to have a party.
Yes,
I think when they first started, I obviously was like 12, so I didn't really even like get to have an opinion, but I thought that they were like cool. And the older I get and the closer I am to having a child, the more I'm like, I don't know if we're going to do that. I think that me and my husband might do something cool, the two of us, and like share it with people, but I don't know if I'm going to invite people to come somewhere and then be like, surprise, this is what we're doing, you know.
I understand a baby shower and all the other ones.
Yeah.
That's the one that I don't really get. I
Also,
think
it's
the
like-
cakes are cute.
Yeah,
Where
you
like
do,
they
a little
go,
cup or-
yeah, and then they pull it up, and it's the two of you.
I want to have that moment with my human.
But I also would be okay with having that moment at the doctor with my human.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't need it to be like a drug out long. I do love a good surprise. Like, I love surprises.
Well, I was gonna say it's recently been brought to my attention that I'm like more okay with not knowing the gender than I originally thought I was. I thought that I was always going to find out the gender of my children when I have them, but the more I've like thought about that concept of just like keeping the gender a secret, even from myself, and giving birth and then being like, it's a boy, and like finding out that way.
Oh, no.
I feel like that would be fun, but I also think it would stress me out.
I think I am going to be like a full blown nester, and I'm gonna I need to know.
I think I am.
I think I need to know as soon as I possibly can. Actually, how am I supposed to plan? What am I gonna paint their fucking room?
You could paint it whatever you
No.
want.
White?
Green, yellow.
Gray?
You could paint it
No,
blue,
no.
even for a girl. Like there's
I know
things.
But I feel like I need to know.
I see, and I think that if I was actually in that position, I might like lose my mind not knowing.
I do think it would be kind of cool.
I
though.
also think it would take some of the pressure off of the baby shower, because I would be like, I don't want you guys to get me all these clothes that like I may or may not think are cute, and like get me diapers, get me wipes, get me like stuff I'm gonna need, whether the boy's a baby boy or a girl. Like just give me all the basic stuff, and then when I have it, I'll put it in what I want to put it in, you know? Because like, what if
Yeah.
you give me the ugliest outfit ever and you're like, oh, why is little Jimmy not wearing those pants I got him? And you're like, because I gave him to Goodwill. That's why.
I do make a kick-ass baby shower
You
gift,
You really do.
but
You really do.
so
Hopefully I don't need one for a little
I was
while.
gonna say,
but
so whenever you're gonna do that, unfortunately, it's gonna be me first, and that makes me.
it is going to be you first. Unless some kind of miracle / disaster strikes.
Also, like at some point, I'm like, I wanna have kids when my friends have kids, so that they can be
Friends.
yeah.
Well, because our kids will be friends, whether they like each other or not.
Tough shit.
Sorry. We're going to Auntie Abby's again, so buckle in, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's not gonna be as fun when I'm the only one.
Yeah.
I want to do it with someone.
Well, because imagine like us tanning and we both have little bellies in a couple summers from now.
Like 7. Anywho, enough with the baby talk.
I don't feel like I'm 27 years old. I feel like I'm like 22.
Yeah.
So then I'm like 27. That's not that far away from 30. That's like
Don't do that to yourself.
childbearing. Well, and I've I think mostly released the concept of like you have to be married at this time, you have to have a kid by this time, like because I thought that I was going to be married with children when I was 25, and then I turned 25 and I was like, you fucking thought, bitch. That was never gonna happen. I think about my parents right now and I'm like, my mom had 3 kids, my dad had 2 kids. By this age, I was like already 3 or 4 for my parents when they were 27.
Yeah. Well, I am noticing it more because every year the students I get, like, I'm like getting closer and closer to their parents' age, and they're 7. And I'm like, Can
you imagine though if you had a baby 7 years ago? If I had a baby when I was 20,
I wouldn't be me now.
No, you wouldn't. I also like I obviously think I probably would have stepped up to the plate and like however it needed to happen. But 20-year-old Haley was like a little tiny nugget of a person, you know? Like
I had no clue. I still don't have a clue.
As we discussed last episode, I don't even know my own name.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's crazy.
I can't even make good choices to take care of myself. So, you know?
I'm thinking back to the party conversation. And is there like one party specifically that you think you went to that was just like the party to be at, like be at high school, college, whatever, where you left and you were like, that was the best party I've ever been to?
I feel like it's got to be college, mostly because I got my MIPC in high school the second time I drank ever. I had to go to court and then said I'm not drinking ever again. And then I left and moved and was in college, and
you're
then
like,
I drank.
Yeah, I'm doing that again.
Yeah, but no, that really like put the brakes on me in high. Like I didn't really do anything in high school. I kind of was just like, you know what? It's not my time.
Yeah.
Everybody here knows me. Everybody knows my parents.
That's the thing is like everyone knows my parents.
No.
And they like your parents worked at the school. And
no.
Like, yeah.
It just wasn't. It was like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Here's the thing. If I'm being completely honest, I view like my favorite party feeling as a festival. Like I don't think I've ever been to a house party and felt the same way that I do when I go to a show. Mm-hmm. That is just like sense. I just love it. I love it. And even like a cargo, not even a festival, but like
a show.
Going to a show is more fun to me than going to a house party. I think the craziest house party I've ever been to was a fraternity party. Like, I also just said fraternity party instead of frat party. So
Obviously you weren't cool with the frats. Sorry.
like, Jesus, shut up.
It's okay. I ever I only ever went to a frat party because I talked to this guy very, very briefly who was in a frat. He's like, "You want to come to my frat house?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I went there. I'm like, "You guys don't even have carpet. Like, what? What is this place? Like, I'm gonna get murdered in here." And then my friend blacked out, and I was like, "I guess we have to go home. It's too bad." Shucks. Dang it.
I've danced on a table at a frat party before.
As you should.
There's one party specifically that I can think of that I think could be like the one that I remember.
The party.
Yeah. And all I know is that at some point I danced on a table, which, like, there's just no reason to dance on a table.
No,
also,
but
why not?
I've always wanted to do that. And then when I finally did it one time, I was like, this is everything I want. I wanted it to be.
Yeah. No, it was fun. That was the same night that I went. There was one single bathroom, you know. So we waited forever. And we went to the bathroom with like a group of 5 girls. It was this tiny ass bathroom. And we all had to pee so bad. And we're like taking turns. And one of the girls that was with us peed in the sink.
I knew you were gonna.
And
say
I was
that.
like,
"Hey, if you have to pee,
you gotta go.
you have to go."
You gotta go. But I just remember being like, what are we doing here? Also, why am I having so much
You're having someone. You're watching someone just like squat over the sink, and you're like, "That is something I never thought I'd see."
I thought that was.
I never thought I would be part of that.
No. So that's the one thing that's coming to mind. Like, I have one of those.
Was that at a frat house?
Yes, but typically, like I said, I think that feeling of like wanting to like we're talking about specifically Vamp, that scene of them just like I feel like that's
a concert.
Yeah, that's how concerts feel.
Well, and I think growing up, like, I really liked going to concerts whenever I went to them, but the older I got, the more of a priority I made it for me to go to concerts and shows and festivals. I still do that, but like there was a point in my life, probably from like 2016 to like 2019, where I was going to concerts like every single weekend of all genres, country, EDM, pop. Like, I was going to concerts all the time, and I think it was because of that reason. Like, it was an excuse to have something to do, and it was an excuse to get dressed up and like drink with my friends and whatever. But on top of it, we were all watching a show and hearing this like music and all doing it at the same. I don't know, it was different than just going to a house to drink.
Yeah, while somebody plays music. Like, it's not.
Yeah, well, because every good house party has music.
Yes.
So why don't we just go hear the music live?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I also think blank. I guess I don't.
She also thinks nothing.
I don't. Nothing's up there. No, what I was gonna say is I also think, like, growing up, the parties and things that I would go to, it's like we'd play King's Cup or like a card game, or like it was more of like that kind of party. Whereas, like, I don't know, I feel like now it's different. I don't know.
I think
It's like like, I wouldn't say that's a party, and maybe that's the whole like kickback
or like hangout situation.
But I'm like, so is this a party?
There's 2 parties that I went to in high school that are coming to mind, and I did not really drink in high school until the summer going into my senior year was the first time I ever got drunk, and that was like, I wasn't like drinking all the time, you know. But there were 2 parties I went to. One of them was at one of my friends right now, one of her best girlfriend's house. She threw a party. It was fun enough, but the reason I think it's so memorable is because the cops came, and instead of like clearing the house out, everyone locked all the windows and doors, turned all the lights off, and hid. And I was I was laying under a pool table trying to like not be in the police officer's flashlight when he was trying to get through a window, and I was just laying there like, what's about to happen to me right now?
That's hilarious, because that's what we did for an hour and a half, 2 hours before I got my MIPC when somebody finally opened the door. I was in a shower though. And we were trying to get one of the girls in the bathroom to throw up because she was so fucking hammered. And then they're like, hey, if they get in here, like we're gonna want to have the least amount of alcohol in our system as possible. So it's funny that that's what you did, and you guys just never opened the door, and we did.
Yeah,
and
they just never opened. She was like, do not open the door. And eventually the cops left, and she was like, everybody get the fuck out right now. And there was people running through her backyard and her front yard, and I was like, where's my friends?
That's hilarious. That didn't work out for me. No. I'm happy it did for you though.
That makes me sad that happened to you.
Well, it is what it is.
The only other one I remember was a Halloween party, and I was dressed up as a genie, and me and my friend were wearing matching costumes. And we went again to at least the other house I knew whose house, like who lived there. This house was a complete random stranger's home. Like I had no idea. Tuesday, I have no idea whose house it was. We went there. It was the most packed party I've ever been to. I feel like most parties were like stragglers in and out. This part, like I literally couldn't even walk through the living room, and I just kept bringing people from school, and I was like, hey, like just the most wild thing ever. And then all of a sudden they said, the cops are here, run. And I've never seen a house empty faster, and I didn't know where any of my people were, and I was hiding in the backyard. And I heard one of my friends at one point, and I was like, hey, what do you like? And she's like, we gotta get out of here. And I'm like, I've been looking for you.
Like, I know.
But also like not that hard, because there's cops and I'm scared. Actually, I think I've been at a lot of places where cops have been called. Yeah. I'm thinking of another one right now where one of our friends threw a party at his house after they had moved out of it. So like they were not supposed to be in it anymore. Threw a party. So there's like no furniture or anything, which is actually kind of perfect for like a high school party, but like we were all trespassing, and people from a different high school rolled up, were not happy with someone inside, and threw a brick through the front window, and all of us thought we were getting shot at. And I literally, my boyfriend at the time grabbed me and pulled me down to the floor in the kitchen and laid on top of me, because he thought that we thought this one was shooting at us. Dude. And I had to crawl out the back door.
We were at a party out instead one time where one of our friends used to live, and somebody threw a rock through his window, and we thought the same thing. Also,
anyways, no, you can't leave me hanging like that.
No, I'm moving on with my story.
Oh, okay.
They had like seen us at a gas station, or maybe I don't know what happened. Something had happened where this group of people was like, hey, where's the party at? And it was like people we didn't know, and they came in and they were sketchy as shit.
Yeah.
And we're like, you guys need to leave. And they got pissed because we asked them to leave. I'm like, we don't know you.
We don't know you. You're not invited.
You heard music and you walked into the door.
Yeah.
Also, at that point, this was college. Obviously, I was here, but they were like not college. Like they were older.
Yeah, you're like, why are you trying to hang out with college students?
It was just weird. Like, the whole thing was so weird. And then they got pissed and threw a rock through his window and shattered the whole thing. And we thought they were shooting at us.
And everyone's like, oh my God, we're gonna die. Okay,
Because you know when people, but you know when somebody walks into a room and you're like, ugh, like it gave me like
an immediate
like
you're not supposed to be here
like
situation.
a creepy, not good feeling. Like that's the vibe that I got the second they walked through the door. So then when people were like, you need to leave, because obviously I didn't feel this, or everybody there felt the same way to where they were asked to leave, and then they got pissed and then were assholes about it. I'm like, also, the fucking balls
to just march into someone's
just walks into some. Well,
I was literally gonna say I have a story about us when you're done. It's from the alternate perspective, though.
Different perspective, not on purpose.
No. So here's the 411. Abby and I were going to a party in one of our friends, like, it was like a what's it called, like a
right?
duplex or an apartment. Yeah, like it was attached to other units, and all our friends said was, "Hey, it's the one with the light on." And so me and you were like, "Okay." We walked up to the one that had, I think it had lights in the window, or a porch light.
There was
and we're like, "This must be the one."
Did you open the door?
I think I opened the door and I walked in,
and
she stepped in right behind me, and I kid everyone not, there were boxes of shit, like as if someone was moving, like it was covered in boxes of stuff.
It looked like quarters.
Yes,
there was stuff
everywhere,
and
there was a staircase immediately, and I think there was a gate, maybe not, I can't remember if there was or not. And a chihuahua just from the top of the railing, and me and you were like, and I remember just turning around and looking at you and being like, "This can't be right?" And we were like, "We need to get up. We need to leave."
And we just walked out and closed the door.
And then I think we turned around and our friend was standing on the porch, like, "Over here." And I'm like, "We just went to a stranger's home." We just went to a stranger's home.
And maybe we should have like waited and said sorry.
I think we probably should have called him and been like, "Hi, can you come outside?"
Instead of just walking in. Well, we were literally sitting there like,
thank God we didn't just like walk into someone's living room and they were like on the couch and turn around and we're like, "What are you doing?" And we'd be like, like, I don't know if there was someone home or not, but we didn't have any like human contact.
No.
If that happened, I think I would have melted into a pit of death. Like, if I opened the door and someone's like, "What are you doing?" I would have been like, "I don't know."
But not the same as like confidently walking in somewhere you don't know. No, that was a complete accident.
I just remember turning around looking at you and being like, "We're in a stranger's home."
Well, you literally looked at me and I was like,
No.
We both were like, "Wait,
I was like, if this is where we're going, I don't know if I want to be here."
Like this can't. There's no music.
Right.
He doesn't have a dog.
No. That's the number one thing.
He does not
either
have a
this
dog.
Chihuahua broke in just like we're doing, or like
or we're at the wrong spot.
We did do that.
Yeah, I forgot.
I honestly forgot about that. That's crazy.
Good times.
But we didn't belong there, and we knew we didn't belong there, you know?
And then we left.
Yeah. Instead of throwing a brick through someone's window.
Because they kicked you out. A little bit different.
Because you weren't invited.
Because we don't know you.
Where is the disconnect?
Go to a bar.
You're old enough to go to a bar. Like, go anywhere else.
Go to a bar.
Go to your own house, maybe, and like hang out there.
Like, come in with a case of beer and like, who the fuck are you? It is funny. Also, like, I've been to parties where I knew the people throwing the party, and someone walked by and they're like, "Who is that guy?" And I'm like, I don't know. If you don't know him, though, this is your house, so you should tell them to get out. Like, well, and I understand like throwing a party and people bringing people and it like turning into more of like, okay, I don't really know these people. Also, at some point, you meet people
through that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think about the first time I showed up to the house that we used to party at. Mm-hmm. I didn't know anybody. I literally knew you. And then
do you remember the first party that you went to there?
Dude, all I know is it was all COVID time. It was all
I'm trying to remember
COVID.
the first party I brought you to or invited you to.
I can't
I don't know if I
remember.
can remember it.
I can't remember. It just like turned into a thing now.
Well, we just used to. I think there was like
But there was
at
one-
least one a month,
Yeah.
or like one every holiday, or like we had themed ones.
Yeah, it was so fun.
And there was like 30-ish people there
every time.
and it was always the same people. And honestly, it was like fun.
So fun. Yeah.
Yeah, what a crazy time. I'm thinking about St. Patty's.
I have never in my entire life died and came back to life.
Me and
It
Abby,
better.
yeah, like you
I was on
resurrected.
my deathbed.
Yeah. Me and Abby and some of our friends did 75 hard and ended right before St. Patty's Day. So we planned a St. Patty's party to like celebrate being done with 75 hard, which by the way is not the point of completing the 75 hard
No.
challenge.
And when you don't drink
For 75
and everything
days?
you do is healthy, and that's like that. Like the first thing you shouldn't do is go to bottomless mimosas, which
And
is how we
then-
started our day.
Yeah, we went to Bottomless Mimosas and then we went to Walmart and bought a whole thing of like a tequila mixer
No, that was in the car on the way
to get
Walmart.
another one.
We finished an entire pre-mixed bottle of margarita.
Yeah.
Then we
got another.
more- yeah.
And then drank that. And then she was unwell. I was passed out on the couch.
No, you're missing the number one part. We got back to your house, and you know what we did?
Oh, I gave you an edible.
We took an edible, which I don't do. I said, you know what? This
I
sounds like a great
remember me
plan."
digging through my little box being like, I can't wait to give these out to my friends. Like, and like you being me, you don't need to do that, Haley. Like,
And I died.
you
died.
And I died I fell asleep on the couch and like went to heaven and came back.
And then all of a sudden we woke up and they're like, guys, we have to go to the St. Patty's Day
No,
party.
my sister's like, your friends are calling you. The party already started. And I'm like, okay, where is my sequined shamrock jersey?
I need my
put it
sequins.
on.
I had stuff on my face.
You had I think you had a green little skirt on.
I had,
we like looked
I had
cute.
suspenders. St.
Like,
Patty's Day suspenders.
If there's anything that we're gonna do is that we're gonna show up like ready to rock and roll, you know?
Yeah.
So
and then
we
we just
showed
kept
up.
going.
I think I waited for like an hour, and then after that I was like, where are the shots?
No, I locked in.
You
Pretty
did.
much the second I got there.
You
I
locked
said, well,
in.
I died, but
Well, and the funniest part was like trying to figure out what happened the night before, because I woke up and my arm was hurting so bad, and I think I smacked my elbow like on like a door frame or like something, because my arm was throbbing. So I went and got peas out of my then boyfriend's fridge and put the peas on my arm, but I put them on the wrong part of my arm. And one of our friends was like, I thought your elbow hurt. And I'm like, it is my elbow. And he's like, that's not your elbow. So then he like popped my arm up on a pillow and put the piece on my elbow the right way. And I just remember I had a big, not like a top hat, but like a big green St. Patty's Day hat on in basketball shorts, and I had peas on my arm, and I was just sitting there. You know when you're like half drunk, half hungover, like super giggly, and like the hasn't kicked in yet?
yeah.
That was me at that point.
You mean like the next morning?
Yeah.
To
When you
me,
wake up and you're
there's
like,
nothing better.
it's so fun when you wake up and you're like, I feel bad, but not terrible.
And everything is so
So
funny. Everything's so funny. Like you're literally just like like you're dying of laughter about like
Nothing.
nothing. Oh, I look crazy right now because I'm hungover.
Well, because you go look in the mirror and there's
You're like,
makeup
oh.
smeared on your cheeks and your hair is sticking up and you're like, I look crazy.
you kind of feel like actual vomit,
Like death.
but
But you're not dying yet.
no.
But then
No,
there
no,
comes
no.
a point where you're like,
This isn't fun anymore.
HB feels very bad.
Very, very bad.
I'm not okay.
This isn't fun.
Bottom line, if you're going to do 75 hard, maybe don't drink
Don't do bottomless
pounds
mimosas. Yeah.
of alcohol the day after you finish the challenge.
Yeah.
That's the real.
Or, you
The
know
real
what, maybe
lesson.
don't drink that much like ever. If
I mean, honestly, the amount of alcohol I consumed in that day probably should never be consumed by any human being ever, no matter
No.
what the occasion.
Also, I
And
don't even care about St. Patrick's
if you
Day.
are black, no, I don't give a rip about it. It's just another example of reasons why you should drink. Let's have a St. Patty's party. None of us give a fuck about St. Patrick's Day, or like, I'm like 2% Irish. Don't care. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
That was just a reason for all of us to wear cute outfits and drink.
Yeah.
I
No.
literally bought a sequin shamrock green and gold jersey. I have it to this day.
In case you're wondering.
In case I get invited to
I
another
still have
party.
my suspenders and my skirt. We should wear that next time we podcast.
Honestly, I think at some point we should have a themed podcast and not tell anyone we're doing it, and just show up here in ridiculous outfits, and they're gonna be like, what is going on?
No, I think that's a great idea.
That's in our future.
Okay.
Buckle in, folks.
With that being said, I think it is probably time to go.
To wrap it up,
Okay.
I love you.
I love you more.
And we'll see you next time.
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.